everyone, this is Joan with Quilters HQ, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about repairing the stitching on your quilt. So if you've ever been a long armor or you've had a quilt quilted somewhere and you got it back and there was a little break in the stitches and you just didn't know how to fix it, so today I'm going to show you how to do that. That you will need is a pair of snips, and I'm using just a regular old embroidery needle. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take out some of these stitches so that we can bury them, and all I'm doing is pulling it up and pulling it backwards. And so you do want to tie a knot in these, so I want enough stitches removed so that I can actually knot this and bury it. So once you have enough that you can make your knot, just go ahead and tie it just like a regular knot. And use your needle to help you pull that string through. And do it again. And so that is not going to come out now. So once you have your knot, you're just going to thread your needle, and I'm just going to feed it through right there. There's one. And once you have your needle threaded, you can just go backwards through the hole and then come up through another hole in the quilt where the stitching is, and just pull that thread through. And once you have it, you can just trim it. And so there it's knotted and trimmed. And you'll do the same thing to the other side. So once you have your ends tied off and knotted and buried, we're going to take it over to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch this area. So come on, let's go. So I'm going to make this repair using Juki's J150 QVP. It's a semi-industrial machine. It's great for quilting. It does free motion quilting with the touch of a button. But the nice thing is I don't really need to use a walking foot because it will actually pull the fabric through. So to get started, we're actually going to line this quilt up. I'm going to throw it all back here on that great big table. We're going to line this quilt up, and I'm holding the foot up with the pedal. And so what I want to do is I want to put the needle down right in that first hole. And so I'm going to use the hand wheel to do that with my foot up. And what I'm doing is bringing up my bobbin thread. So I want both of these on top when I start sewing. Now we're not going to do any locking stitches. We're going to do the same thing that we did earlier and tie off and bury those. And so I'm going to go back down in that hole. Now I've already set the stitch length to match the quilting, which is 2.5 millimeters. And so I'm just going to sew really slow. So we're going to go about 300. And we're just going to follow these little holes around to fix this quilt. And so when I'm getting close here, I'm actually going to use the hand wheel so that I can set the needle down in exactly the right spot. So I'm going to raise my foot and maybe take one more stitch just manually, and then set the needle down in exactly that same spot. And then I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up, and you do that by, I'm going to pull some thread through here, make your thread a little bit loose, come back over, put your needle down again, and then that will pull your bobbin thread up. And we want to have a lot of bobbin thread so we can have a long tail to tie off and knot these. Okay. And so we finished our sewing. You can kind of tell a little bit. I'm going to use the machine to hold this quilt steady. So we're going to do the same process again here that we did earlier, only it'll be a lot easier because we have a longer tail now. So tie them off. And then I'm going to use the same needle again. And we're just going to go down through that hole right there and along the stitch line, because if you're sewing with a dark thread on a light fabric, that thread might show through. We'll do the same thing on this side. Move it back a little bit. Tie our knots. And repeat the process and just pull that through. Trim your thread, and it's like it never happened. So if you like this video, subscribe down below and we'll be posting more videos just like this. And if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's Quilters HQ. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.